Alright, here we have one of Van Gogh's first self-portraits. This one is titled Self-Portrait with Dark Felt Hat and was painted in the spring of 1886. Van Gogh presents himself in a phase of transition, seeming wary but ready to face a new life in Paris. His eyes appear empty, and the colors are rather dull, yet rather than gloomy, he's created a somewhat mysterious aura.
Right. It was a portrayal of himself as tall, dark, and handsome. It was a portrait that most definitely screamed, "Ladies, I'm single."
And even the colors he uses is quite different from his later works. His early self-portraits have very earthy tones, much like the paintings of his peasant subjects. Very different from his later, more vibrant works.
Here we have a portrait titled Self-Portrait with Gray Felt Hat.
Wow, such descriptive titles, clearly differentiating this dark felt hat from this gray one.
Oh yes. Not only are the titles clearly defined, there is a marked departure from Van Gogh's early portraits. You can really see the influence of pointillism and the beginning of him really defining his own style, which included very short, frenzied brushstrokes and color that seems to be alive, strong contrasts of blue and orange as if emanating Van Gogh's artistic energy within the canvas.
This painting provides a stark contrast with his next work, Self-Portrait with Bandaged Ear, which was painted in January of 1889. Here, his facial expression is still and melancholy, contemplating his position as an artist. This was painted immediately after a mental collapse, and it's clear to see Van Gogh didn't fully recover.
There's a physicality to every brushstroke, as if the burden of life and this immense feeling of isolation has been engraved into each one, and the dull and rough color reflect his frail and anxious mentality.
His eyes are distorted, and the Japanese picture on the wall behind Van Gogh represents a lost paradise. Van Gogh also had a falling out with Gauguin shortly before this painting, from which the infamous ear-slicing story was born.
And here we have his last self-portrait, painted in September of 1889. The frenzied brushstrokes and the turmoil and stark contrast of color really reflect his unstable state of mind.
Yeah, he looks dejected and hopeless. His eyes lifeless and his mouth droops with years of pain and suffering.
Yeah, I mean, looking back, he wasn't exactly living the dream. He suffered from seizures, had bipolar disorder, poisoned himself drinking absinthe. He later entered an asylum for a year and then committed suicide.
On top of biological issues, his career didn't go that well either. Van Gogh only sold one painting during his lifetime. Ironically, his paintings are worth millions now that he's gone. Not to mention his lack of lady friends. His cousin rejected his proposal in the worst way possible. She said no, nay, never.